Hello Game of Thrones freaks and geeks, and welcome to The Word from Westeros, the Game of Thrones weekly recap vlog exclusively produced for AGtM.net. I'm Kait Calabro and this is my show. And I was right last week about my prediction, but before we talk about that certain character's return and multiple returns of past Game of Thrones favorites and very hated characters, here's your water cooler recap of what went down during Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. So we finally meet Sam's family in this episode, and yes, his father is as awful as Sam said he would be. Side note, you can head over to AGtM.net and read my recap for this specific episode of Game of Thrones, where I break down where we know where all the current Valyrian steel swords are at in this particular point within this timeline that we were given within the Game of Thrones series, TV series, not book series. I know there are more than just these Valyrian swords out there, but this is what we know from what we've watched in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Alright? Just disclaimer right there. Walder Frey is back, and he is really pissed off because his bozo sons let Blackfish take back River Run. Marjorie completely bypasses doing her Walk of Atonement, not because the Tyrell army comes in and saves her, because she convinced King Tommen to join with the Faith, and now the Crown and the Faith are like as one, which someone needs to send Tommen to a political science class, because mixing government and religion together is never a good idea. Since Jaime Lannister went against the High Sparrow, he is now forced to leave his title as a member of the Kingsguard and join the Lannister army as they go battle to take back the River Runs. Arya fucking Stark is back, guys. Finally, Arya and Needle are back in action, and we're done with this no one business that I'm so sick of. And then Dany gives another epic speech. Her dragon's back. She gets on the dragon and gives a speech to the Dothraki, kind of reminding them of everything that Khal Drogo promised her. And she's ready. She's ready to take on Westeros, which is something that we've been hearing about since, episode 2 of Game of Thrones. And finally, we get to see Benjen Cold Hands Stark. Okay, so like I've mentioned, a lot of characters actually returned in this episode of Game of Thrones Season 6, Blood of My Blood. Not only do we finally get to see what happened to Benjen Stark, who has been missing since mid-Season 1 of Game of Thrones, we find out that he is, in fact, the TV show's version of the Westerosian legend Cold Hands. George R.R. Martin has not officially confirmed that Benjen is the book series Cold Hands. So just so that's all clear, Benjen Stark is Cold Hands only in the TV series as of right now. We won't know until Winds of Winter is released, if Benjen Stark is Cold Hands also in the book series. In addition to Benjen Stark returning, we see the return of both the Frey household as well as some of the Tullys. We have not seen Blackfish, but Blackfish has been mentioned a couple of times within this episode, and I believe in the previous episode when Littlefinger tells Sansa that her great uncle has taken back River Run. We also saw Edmund Tully, aka Frank Randall, aka Blackjack Randall from Outlander, two worlds colliding, back, who just seems to be having a miserable marriage. Doesn't seem to be working out too well for Catelyn's brother. And hey, did you guys notice that name dropping of the Brotherhood without banners? Weird, because spoiler alert for people that don't know this, but I'm pretty sure if you're watching this show, spoilers are the least of your worries. Within the book series, the Brotherhood without banners, as we all know, is able to reincarnate people, which we did see, I believe, in Season 2 of Game of Thrones. in the book series, they are able to find a pretty damaged, to say the least, Catelyn Stark after the Red Wedding, and they reincarnate her, turning her into Lady Stoneheart, who is kind of like this mute, zombie-like version of Catelyn Stark who just is out for revenge to anyone that fucked with her family. So pretty much everyone in Westeros. A lot of people are thinking that since the series has announced that they will be bringing back the Brotherhood, that that's a possible lead-in for the return of Catelyn Stark, aka Lady Stoneheart, as well as possibly the return of a zombie-like Hound. Since the Hound has had a past relationship with the Brotherhood, you see with him and Arya back in season 2, people believe that the Brotherhood found the Hound and reincarnated him, which would be pretty freaking ironic if the Hound was reincarnated in the Lord of Light, which involves a lot of fire, because, hey, the Hound is petrified of fire. So, I mean, that would be interesting. But that's a whole nother theory. We'll find out sooner rather than later if Lady Stoneheart will be back. Multiple sources, including the actress that plays Catelyn Stark, has said that she's not coming back. But I mean, we didn't think Benjen Stark was coming back either. At least not in this season. There was no, like, little tidbits about that. But I mean, I think besides the reveal and the return of Benjen Stark, another great and epic return that we got in this episode would be frickin' Arya Stark. I mean, I am so sick. I was getting so tired of this stupid, faceless man bullshit of being no one and just assassinating people to assassinate them. And I wanted Arya back. I wanted Arya. Arya should never forget who she is, even though being a Stark kind of frickin' sucks. But, like, at this point, the Starks are making a comeback. Like, hello, look at Sansa, look at Jon, look at Benjen. Bran is now, like, some greater version of himself. He's, like, Bran Stark and the Three-Eye Raven, so he's, like, no longer human. He's, like, half human, half not, like, teller of all. So, I mean, the Starks are definitely rising from the ashes like a phoenix. So, I mean, it's a good time currently to be a Stark. I don't know how it's going to really work out when that bitch from the House of Black and White finds Arya. But I'm pretty sure she's going to kill her. Which, like, I know I shouldn't be excited when people die. But, like, I think Game of Thrones is the only place where you're, like, allowed to be happy about death. About other people being murdered. So yeah, also quick little bit, it's not really a returning character, but hey, did you guys see the Mad King in those weird little flash of visions that we saw of Bran? That guy looked bonkers. I mean, does this mean that we'll get more Mad King? Hopefully not before we get the freaking Tower of Joy flashback. You didn't think I was gonna mention it, but I did. There you go. Alright, that's it. Benjen Stark's back, and I'm really happy. Woo. One loose end tied up. Kinda. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of The Word from Westeros. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to All Geek to Me TV on YouTube so you never miss another episode of this show again, and also check out our other cool geeky content that we post up on the page. Immediately following watching this video, head over to allgeektome.net to check out my full Game of Thrones recap of Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. It is filled with words and filled with gifs. It's a good time, so go check it out. You can follow me on Twitter at Kait Calabro for up-to-the-minute Game of Thrones information, and also check out other things I do in my life. Game of Thrones airs Sundays at 9 p.m. on HBO, and until next time, remember, you either win or you die.